and you put it around the shoulders of the couple like this. And look at this. When I pull the ends together, look what happens. Is that cute or what? It's like getting a hug from God, right? Yes. You know, somewhere in the heavens it was geschrieben. It was written that you two would be together. It just took a while for you to find each other, right? And when you did, the angels in heaven sang. So I'm going to bless you. I'm going to give you a blessing for this anniversary of yours. And then we're going to sing Siman Tov, okay?
Okay.
Yavarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha, Ye'er Adonai panav alecha v'yichuneka, Isa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you. May God watch over you always. May God shine a divine light around you, around your home, around your hearts, and be gracious unto you. May God be with you every step along your journey together in this life. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
Mazel tov, and Siman tov, mazel tov, and Siman tov, Yehelanu. Siman tov, mazel tov, and Siman tov, Yehelanu, Oleko Yisrael, Yehelanu, Uleko Yisrael, Yehelanu, Uleko Yisrael.
Thank you for letting us share this wonderful moment with you. Okay, let's continue with Hine Matov.
Page 128. Psalm 133. Hine matov umanayim,
Shevet achim gam yachad.
Hine matov umanayim, Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, Shevet achim gam yachad. All right, melody number 2. We need everybody clapping and singing. Hine, 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 matov umanayim, Shevet achim gam yachad. And jumping up and down. Hine, 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 matov umanayim, Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine 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 matov umanayim, Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine, 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 matov umanayim, Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine, 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 matov umanayim, Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine 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 matov umanayim, Shevet achim gam yachad. Number 3. And that's it. 3 melodies. Hine matov umanayim, Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov umanayim. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim. Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov.
And Juliana is Juliana and Rachel and Stanislav and Marlene and Phyllis and Linda and Agnes and George. And others are watching as well. And they're sending their their warmest Shabbat greetings to us all. Let's continue with Ma Yafeh Hayom on page 128.
How lovely today is. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. You're invited to sing along. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom.
Cantor, it's been a while since we've done Psalm 95. L'chu naranana.
Okay.
Come, let us sing a joyous song to Adonai. That can be found on page 130.
Lekuneranena, 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 Adonai. Lekuneranena, 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 Adonai. Naria, naria, litzor yishenu, nikad mafanav betoda. Naria, naria, litzor yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lekuneranena, 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 Adonai. Lekuneranena, 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 Adonai.
And now, L'cha Dodi on page 138.
Let's do the jazz one, Rich. All right.
La 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 la.
L'cha l'cha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabala. L'cha l'cha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabala. La 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 l'cha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabala. L'cha l'cha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nikabala. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Ishmianu el amiyukad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem otiferet v'letehi la 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 l'cha dodi.
Likrat kala,
Penei Shabbat nikabala. L'cha l'cha dodi, likrat kala.
Penei Shabbat nikabala.
Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habraka, merosh mikedem nesuka, so ma'aseh b'makshava tekin la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, perei Shabbat nikabala, lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, perei Shabbat nikabala. Verse 5. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi uri shidaberi, kavod Adonai alaik niga la 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 kadodi, likrat kala, perei Shabbat nikabala, lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat
and we rise, face the door.
Bo'wi v'shalom, atzeret bala, gam v'simcha, u'v'tzola, chok emunei am segula.
We bend and bow.
Bo'wi kala, bo'wi kala.
And now we take our
Lecha dodi, likrat kala, perei Shabbat nikabala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, perei Shabbat nikabala. La 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat kala, perei Shabbat nikabala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, P'nei Shabbat nikabela.
Michelle and Sherry and Dorothy and Sheila and Erin are watching, and Phyllis as well, and Cappy and Lex Lopez. And, you know, Ruth Gantman is watching, and she said it was so nice to see people dancing.
Ah.
Yeah, that's nice. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144.
Yitkadash Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Yamadi v'rak rutev yamlik malkutei. Becha yechot uvyom echot uvkayedecho Beit Yisrael. Bagala Uvizman Kadri Bimeru.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Ulam Me'amaya. Yitbarak Yishtabak Yitpahar Vitromam Yitnasei Ve'yitadar V'yitalev Yitalal Shemei Dekudesha Le'ela Min Kol Berchata Ve'shirata Tushbecha Dechemata Damiran B'yam Avimru. Amen.
We rise for the Baruch Hu.
Lai la 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 Lai la 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 Barechu et Adonai Amevorach. Barechu et Adonai Amevorach. Baruch Adonai Amevorach Ve'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Le'olam va'ed. la 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 la
Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Page 151, we read together at the top of the page. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And we rise for the Shema, page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated as we continue with V'ahavta on page 154.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol avavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavka hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'veitecha v'v'lechtecha b'derech v'shokpecha v'kumecha v'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha v'chtatam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'sha'arecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להוליכם לאלוהים Ani Adonai Elohechem.
And now on page 158, Mi Chamocha.
Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nedar B'Kodesh, Norah Tehilot Osef Ele, Norah Tehilot Osef Ele. Malchutecha Uvanecha Pokeya Yam Lifnei Moshe uMiriam Ze Elianu ve'amru Ze Elianu ve'amru Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Vahed Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Vahed Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mi Chamocha Nedar B'Kodesh Norah Tehilot Osef Ele Norah Tehilot Osef Ele.
We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We turn to Vishamru, and with the Temple Bethel dancers, that would be Hannah and Dallas, please come up to the front. Here, come up to the front of the Bima and help us with Vishamru. And anybody who wants, no, right, stand right over there. There you go. You know how to do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Temple Bethel dancers, here they are. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Point to yourself and then point to God.
Beini u'beinei Yisrael,
Do this.
oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat
Okay, now you gotta make
ledorotam
6.
berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai
Point at the sky.
et hashamayim
Now point at the earth.
ve'et haaretz ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et
Shabbat.
la'asot et
Now you gotta make
ha-Shabbat
7.
ledorotam
Seventh day
berit
God rested,
olam.
right?
Ubayom hashivyi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
And we rise for the tefillah on page 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Velohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chazdei Avot V'Imot U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'Neihem Lema'an Shemo
B'Ahava.
Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mekayei Meitim Atah Rav L'Hoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mekakel Chayim B'Chesed Mekayei Meitim Berachamim Rabbi Somek Noflim B'Rofei Cholim U'Matir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Ahafad Mikamoka Ba'al Gevurot Umido Melach Lek meimi tu mekaye umatzmiyak Yeshua v'ne'emanat al hakayod metim Baruch atah Adonai mekaye hametim.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יעללו חצלה. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. And we say, Amen. Please be seated. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levatcha b'yirah na'avod. We continue with Shalom Rav on page 178.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael. B'chol eit u'b'chol sha'ah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
On Shabbat, we take time just to be. Not to accomplish anything, but just to be. To be with our families, to be with our community, to be with our friends, and to feel the presence of God when we encounter each other deeply, when we encounter our own souls. You know, we run around at such a breakneck speed these days that sometimes we're way ahead of our souls, or we leave our souls behind us someplace. And what are you supposed to do on Shabbat? You're supposed to stand still and quiet, and you let your soul catch up with you. Just to be. So let's take a moment or two. Put your feet flat on the floor. Let your hands rest peacefully in your laps. Allow your eyes to close. Take a couple of deep Shabbos breaths. And whatever stress, whatever burdens you've taken on this week, let them go. With every breath that you release, let go of some of those burdens. Let go of some of that stress. And allow yourself to be found by the presence of God. Take a deep breath and release it.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'yakol Yisrael. 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 Ve'imru, amen.
And Shabbat Shalom to Bonnie, who's watching on Facebook, and Bob and Dodie, who are watching in Chicago, and Eva, who's watching online as well. You know, I like being an MOT. You know what an MOT is? A member of the tribe. You know, do you like being an MOT? I think you like being an MOT. You wear it well. You know, the Jewish people is my tribe, my extended family. I like it. Now, I want to ask you something. Has this ever happened to you? You're traveling in a foreign country. Maybe you're on a tour bus or a cruise ship, and you strike up a conversation with other people. You know, you make little friendships. So they don't last more than a week or two, but you start talking to them. You say, "Oh, where are you from?" "Oh, really? You know, I visited that city. You know, what do you do for a living?" "Ah, you know, my brother worked in that line. Yeah, he did that too. You got kids? Me too." Now, these conversations, again, they're not all that significant, but they serve a purpose. They are, to establish friendships, because just temporary friendships usually, but there is something comforting. There's something comforting about being with people with whom you share a common background. You know, I saw Giselle earlier this evening, and I started singing "Oh Canada." She's from Canada. I'm from Canada. We got something in common, right? It's instant, kind of an instant connection. You know, there are parameters to these conversations that you have with people on vacation. You don't usually talk about religion, and you avoid talking about politics. You keep it, kind of light and airy, right? But you might have had this experience. You know, you go back to the hotel or to your cabin at night with your travel companion, and you turn to your wife or your husband and you say, do you think those people were Jewish? You got a hunch. You think they were Jewish? They seemed Jewish, but their last name didn't sound very Jewish. You can't tell these days with last names. Who knows? Who knows? And then it strikes you. You know what she said? She said that they were schlepping to that market tomorrow. Yeah, they threw in a little Yiddish because they were wondering if we're Jewish too. Tomorrow we're going to schmooze with that couple, right? Instant connection, right? Instant connection. You ever had that experience? Yeah. Wherever I go, I check out the Jewish community and its history in that area that I'm visiting. When I find other Jews, I feel like I'm in the company of family. We share a common history, a common spiritual heritage, and a common culture. But you know something, and we Jews have to remember this. We're not the only people who celebrate their tribe. Lots of people have their a high comfort level in their tribes. You got African Americans, Italian Americans, Mexican Americans, all have their version of being an M-O-T. It's not just ethnicity that's the basis for membership in a tribe. It's not just religion. People bond for any number of reasons. It could be from where they live. It could be because of where they live. People from the deep South, people from New York City, people from California, they feel a common bond. They have there's certain references that they get, and especially when they're traveling abroad. People establish powerful connections through religious and political affiliations. They even bond over the teams that they cheer for. Now, you're likely to belong to more than one tribe at any given time. The people you work with, the people you play with, the people you live next door to. You sort of make these little tribal connections with. The people you went to school with, the people you served in the armed forces with. These things also determines your tribal identities. Notice I use the word identities. I use the plural. Now, your many tribal identities determine your identity. For the most part, my tribal identity is Jewish. That's who I am. That's who I am. But I have other, I have other little tribal identities as well. My life is enriched through knowing and caring about and other people from other tribes. I learn from other tribes. In some cases, because I'm a Jew, I bring a unique and enriching element to my non-Jewish tribal friends. Every few weeks, I get together with a group of rabbis and ministers to study the Bible with. None of us is interested in converting the other. We don't do that. We simply share our struggles as spiritual leaders while we're studying each other's traditions. And it's lovely. I learned that. I really love those people. We live in a time of extreme tribalism. Too many people are retreating into their religious, ethnic, or political fortresses, wanting nothing to do with those who might see the world a little bit differently, who insist that they and only they have cornered the market on truth. My rabbi and teacher, the late David Hartman, wrote a magnificent book called A Living Covenant, in which he describes how vital and relevant Judaism has remained throughout the ages. Now, when he submitted the original manuscript, the editor in charge said, "Rabbi, why do you call it a living covenant? Why don't you call it the living covenant?" And you know what Rabbi Hartman said? He said, I can't say that. You know, I can't say that my covenant with God as a Jew is the only possible covenant. He said, I cannot possibly say that my truth is the only truth that exists. But for me, it makes sense. I'm a Jew. My tradition makes sense. That's who I am. But I'm not going to say somebody else doesn't have their truth or their special covenant with God. The Jewish tradition informed Rabbi Hartman's life. He loved the Torah. He loved the Jewish people. He really did. He was a real MOT. However, he always taught us to respect and learn from all peoples. So love your tribe. Love the Jewish tradition. I hope it's your most important tribal identity. Love your Jewish tradition. Love the Jewish people. But remember, always remember this. You're a member of a larger tribe called the human race. Amen. Now, Cantor, do you know of people who are in need of healing this week that we might make a Misha Berach on their behalf?
Sure, I do. I get names. Here we go. If I can pull them up, it would be great.
That would be good.
Here we go.
Anyone out here, Marilyn? Yes. Excellent. Someone over here? Okay.
All right, here are my names. Sharon Berger, Carolyn Rifkin, Kate Van Voorhees, Valerie Cohen, Barry Meyerson, Hudson Dome, Esther Shom, Hannah Steinhurst, and Bracha Gofer. Okay, we're on page 371, everybody. 371 in the middle of the page. Misha Berak Avotenu Mekor HaBracham Leimotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berak Imotenu Mikor HaBrakam Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
You know, we're celebrating some birthdays this week. Alyssa Wolf, Dr. Franklin Fiedelholtz, Jared Strauss, Richard Hoffman, Ashley Silvers, Leo Ferretti, Lisa Leota, and Sydney Forden. We just bat mitzvahed her.
Her sister.
Or her sister, that's right.
Yeah, Sydney was
no, that's right.
2 years ago.
Was a few. Jake Forden and Jack Bishop. Let's sing happy birthday to them. Oh, wait a minute. Who else? Who's that? Who's that over there? Who? Eric Rosenberg.
Eric Rosenberg is in the house.
The Eric Rosenberg? The one and only. Let's sing.
Eric Rosenberg is here, everybody.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eric.
And everyone else, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
And let's see, Shelley and Richard Lebo are celebrating their anniversary, and of course our own Dee and Elle, who graced us with blessing the Shabbat candles and doing the kiddush for us. This is for all of those of you who love.
All right, we're going to sing a lovely
For
song.
all of you who love someone.
For Dee and Lefty. Love me with all your heart, that's all I want, love. Love me with all your heart, or not at all. Just promise me this, that you'll give me all your kisses every winter, every summer, every fall. When we are far apart, or when you're near me. Love me with all your heart, as I love you. Don't give me your love for a moment or an hour. Love me always as you've loved me from the start, with every beat of your heart. Cuando caliente el sol aquí en la playa, siento tu cuerpo vibrar cerca de mí. I'm getting a bonus in my paycheck this week. Es tu palpitar, es tu cara, es tu pelo, son tus besos, me estremezco. Oh, when we are far apart, or when you're near me. Love me with all your heart, as I love you. Don't give me your love for a moment or an hour. Love me always as you've loved me from the start, with every beat of your heart. With every beat of your heart. With every beat of your heart. For you, Dee and Lefty, happy anniversary. Okay. There you go.
Is that from the 50s? That's got a 50s sound to it.
That's a song from Cuba.
Yeah.
But I asked our friend Dr. Gaston, I said, that's a nice song from Cuba. He said, no, that's a Dade County song.
Oh, okay.
That's what he told me.
Well, the Cuban...
But it is from Cuba.
Just a shout out to Harriet and Bonnie and Marlene and Greg and Lillian, who have joined our service. So many people watching. Oh, and Nancy is also watching. Now, we rise for the Aleinu on page 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, l'tet gdula l'yotzer b'reshit, shelo asanu kegoyei aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam kelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kekol hamonam, va'anaknu korim, u'mishtakavim u'modim, Lifnei Melech Malkei HaMalachim, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu, V'nemar, V'haya Adonai, Lemelech HaKol Haaretz, Bayom Ha'u, Bayom Ha'u, Yeh Adonai Echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echad.
This Shabbat, we observe the yahrzeits of Alfred Sadlowski, Raymond Seftel, Benjamin Siegel, Carol Surfer, Edward Shore, Florence Sloan, Ulrich Stewart, Christian Thiel, David Watt, Sylvia Wolf, Hyman Wyman, Irving Zuckerman, Sabina Jacobson, Rose Kutcher, Marcia Lawrence, Rebecca Lazansky, David Lipman, Isidore Melvin, Robert Mann, Sidney Munter, Sarah Munter, Abraham Nathan, Edward Nichols, Ida Permut, Fanny Redlick, Elaine Rockmeal, Sarah Sedlovsky, Jeanette Adler, Louis Balin, Myrna Blower, Jerry Breslau, Dorothy Brill, Dorothy Epstein, Lillian Falduti, Miriam Ferber, David Gable, Rose Goldberg, Ned Gordon, Gertrude Harris, Albert Islin, and Nan Jacob. And I just want to say something about George Fink. His family is here. George was one of the sweetest, most decent human beings I ever met. George had a great sense of humor and a heart of gold. I enjoyed being with him and all the time I spent with him. And, you know, during the last couple of years of his life, he suffered terribly. And yet, I found in George a spirit that rose above his suffering. He never complained. He always greeted me with a smile when I visited him. We joked. We talked about important things, and he was an absolute inspiration, not just to his family, not just to his circle of friends, but his entire community as well. So we, among this group, we especially remember George. And we also remember, as we do every Friday night, the 6 million who perished during the Holocaust. We are in the Shloshim period for Selma Nichols, Rosalind Marion, David Buomo, Michelle Goldberg, Daniel Ben Joseph, and of course our hearts are with the families of Officer Chirino and Lieutenant Graham, who died this week. These were men who served our country, so our community with such courage and devotion. The mourners Kaddish on 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemer Rabbah B'alma devarach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael B'galav v'zman kariv v'mromen Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei dekutsha b'richu le'olam min kol berchata v'shirata Tush b'chata v'nechamata Damiran be'alma v'mromen Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya V'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'mromen Oseh Shalom b'mromav Ya'aseh Shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'mromen. Amen. Okay, Marvin, are you going to make the announcements?
Rabbi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not see our illustrious other vice president. I just didn't see you there. And it looks so empty. The more I look, the more you weren't here, Sharon. The more.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat
I am
Shalom.
here. The flowers are sponsored tonight by Julie Speckler Fink in memory of George. And all I can say is we all second everything Rabbi said. Our hearts are with all of you. We all loved George so much. The Oneg to Go is sponsored by Sisterhood, so thank you, Sisterhood. And anybody who would like to sponsor flowers, an Oneg, music for our services, please call the office and speak to Jackie. Tomorrow morning we have Torah study at 9:30, and that'll be followed by the Shabbat morning service on Zoom. Sunday morning at 9:30, we will have Jewish Learning Center, followed by Beth Youth. And Tuesday, we have, at 6:30, we have Brotherhood meeting, and that'll be followed by their poker game. Wednesday at 6 o'clock, Cantor Manny has his class on Zoom, everything you always wanted to know about Judaism.
But we're afraid to ask.
But we're afraid to ask. We're not afraid anymore.
I know, okay.
Those classes get a little randy. Thursday morning, 9 a.m., we have morning minyan, and that's followed, of course, by bagels and coffee. And then next Friday night, we will be back here again, 7 p.m., for our Shabbat services in the sanctuary and live streamed. Just for those who are at home and wondered what was going on earlier tonight, we had a little bit of a problem with the live stream. We're working on it so that we don't have to be tuning in 15 minutes late anymore. Glad you were able to finally hook up with us. And one more thing, we've set a date for our talent show. It's Sunday, it's February 27th, it's at 3 p.m., it's here, and there's a twist. We're teaming up with the First Presbyterian Church of Hollywood so that we can have a bigger and a better event. Everyone is welcome to participate in the fun. The audition deadline is November 30th, and you can go to our website to sign up. It is just for fun. It is not a competition. There won't be any cheering or booing, just cheering. We are still wearing masks properly worn above the nose and the mouth when we're in the building. Please check your trending email every week for more details, and you can subscribe to Trending on the website, or you can call Jackie. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom again.
Sharon, I have a question.
Yes.
Will there be a gong at the...
No, there will not be a gong.
Okay.
No, there will not. There will be no hurt feelings.
I'm
It
just
will all be
asking.
for fun. Everybody's welcome to participate.
And you mentioned that the Cantor's class could get a little randy, and people ask some very delicate questions. Well, I heard that one of his students put up her hand very tentatively, and she wanted to know, in Judaism, is it okay to knish on the first date? That's what she asked. Do you knish on the first date? Okay.
I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah.
So I got a couple of groans.
It led to a very interesting conversation.
And I'm sure it did. And the Cantor handled it very delicately.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Our final hymn tonight, we're going to sing a song that I think most people know. Page 644 at the top, there's only a few words to this song. Evenu Shalom Alechem, which means we bring peace to you.
And Dallas and Hannah, would you come up to the bima?
Let's hope we have peace in the world and we all have inner peace. Peace is great. Evenu Shalom Alechem.
Come on. What are you?
Evenu Shalom Alechem. Evenu Shalom Alechem. Evenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alechem. Evenu Shalom Alechem. Evenu Shalom Alechem. Evenu Shalom Alechem. Evenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Alechem. Evenu Shalom. Aleichem. Evenu Shalom Aleichem. Evenu Shalom Aleichem. Evenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. Evenu Shalom Aleichem. Evenu Shalom Aleichem. Evenu Shalom Aleichem. Evenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem.
Alice, come and stand here. Hannah, would you come over here and help me make a motzi? Ready? Ha-motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to
God for bread.
Our
Voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And don't worry, Agnes, that I'll leave some for Richie. Richie will definitely get a slice. Shabbat.
All right. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Hey, guys.
That's for you,
Lily.
your aunt, and your grandma. Anybody want any challah? Come up here.
There they go, the Temple Bethel dancers.
Oh, we didn't. Oh, we didn't get. I did not have Nancy Shamides. She just let me know it was her birthday, and I didn't have it written down. So, in the next month or so, I'm going to take a little bit of time off.